Welcome to Minecraft Monday. I'm just grabbing the stuff for the pop-out chats as needed. This won't take long. Welcome to Minecraft Monday. I'm just grabbing the stuff for the pop-out chats as needed. This won't take long. Alright, there we go. Okay, so, as per how we've been doing things, it works just fine. We're going to continue on with what we've been doing, which is I'm going to cover a news topic, the local weather for the state of Maine, and then we're going to get into the gaming. Alright, there we go. Okay, so, as per how we've been doing things, it works just fine. We're going to continue on with what we've been doing, which is I'm going to cover a news topic, the local weather for the state of Maine, and then we're going to get into the gaming. And just to prevent an echo, I'm going to effectively mute myself. So, alright. Yesterday, and the day before, we had an incident. To the GOP. According to Gallup, 47% of Republicans personally own guns in 2024, compared to 19% of Democrats. Okay, that's all you really need to know, right? You can read the rest for yourself. But as you go on, it says 45% of Republicans via Pew, and NBC says 66%. I don't know, I think that's a little high, but whatever. Actually, I think these are amateur numbers. I don't think that it's accurate polling, but doesn't matter. So, doesn't matter which one of these I pull up, they're all the same. The One Big Beautiful Bill. They removed the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act, which is to remove the short-barreled rifles and shotguns from the NFA, which should have never been on there in the first damn place. The NFA itself is in fact blatantly unconstitutional, as it puts a tax that's been obviously labeled as a tax on a constitutionally protected activity. Now, the Supreme Court, out of their own cowardice, has refused to take anyone up on this because every time, and the one time they came close to it, the guy ended up mysteriously fucking dead. Kind of weird how that happens, isn't it? Oh yeah, it'd help if we had the screen. Let's see here. So why are you blacked out? There we go. Now, there are a lot of bad things. There's a lot of good things about the Big Beautiful Bill. More like the big bitch of a bill. See if I can find one where I was I was actually smashing the friggin' GOP and every member that I could with that yesterday. So, and that's another news topic that we're going to get into as well. So I'm going to open a new tab so we can just do the short and NFA thing first, and then we're going to. Okay, let's see. No, she needs to go. Sorry. So here's what happened. The Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough is a liberal hack who was hired by Harry Reid I actually wanted to read what he said too. 12 years ago, actually 13 at this point, who is putting her own personal agenda ahead of her job. Point in fact, the NFA as a whole is a tax on a right. It is by its very nature, therefore, a part of the budget. You cannot sit here and say that the $200 tax stamp on firearms and firearms accessories of any type or nature is not budgetary in nature, because it is. Okay? Just because Chucky Schumer doesn't want to hear it doesn't exempt you from doing your fucking job. Number one. Number two, registrations or registries in the Constitution are banned. They are illegal as hell and unconstitutional. Period. Bar none. The only way that this portion of the NFA was allowed to proceed was as a tax. So while removing the tax will effectively have the same effect as rendering it unconstitutional, the reality is actually, in a way, this is almost better because then we don't have to bounce back and forth every 2 to 4 years on whether it's constitutional or not. If you zero out the taxes for the if you do zero out the taxes for the certain provisions in the NFA pertaining to suppressors and short-barreled shotguns and rifles, which is, by the way, just like outright infringement. Who are you to tell me how long my barrel should be? You ever stop and think that maybe I want my barrel longer, not shorter? Or maybe it's not a rifle for use at range. Maybe I'm just using it for pest control, and short is better for that particular purpose. You have no right to tell me what to use or not to use to defend my own home. And demanding that I get put on a fucking registry that is unconstitutional as hell? Screw you. But zeroing out the tax basically makes it so the first person who breaks that law after this particular point can take it to the Supreme Court and say, hey, yeah, there's no tax, and it's just to keep as a registry, which is not constitutional. at this point in time, and the Supreme Court. Basically, every justice on the Supreme Court is going to have to sit there and say, yeah, no, you're right. We can't have that. It's not constitutional. Well, except for freaking Ketanji Brown Jackson, because she's not. She's probably about the most vapid member of the Supreme Court right now, and she just proved that the other day. Um, so anyway, yeah, I went around and I let everyone know what I had to fucking think about it. And I'm completely along the lines of Greg Stubbe. An unelected Senate parliamentarian should not be deciding what stays and what goes in the so-called big beautiful bill. Absolutely. Yeah. No one elected her. Nobody elected her, as far as I'm aware. There was no vote taken for her to have any sort of power whatsoever. It was just someone that fucking Harry Reid decided to put in there. Finally, someone in the Senate says something worthwhile. So, that's basically the gist of that right now. I haven't seen anything new as far as developments go on that yet. Oh, let's see. Does military arms have anything listed yet? Yeah, so no one is actually talking about um good morning, sis. No one's actually talking about the Hearing Protection Act or the Short Act this morning. It's probably because we're waiting to see what happens, I guess, today. But over the weekend, it definitely exploded. The whole thing was just like a massive middle finger to every gun owner. Um, yeah, no, I agree with Rep. Mary Miller. Illinois has some of the best farmland in the world. It shouldn't be buried under Chinese solar panels. She's absolutely correct on that point. Actually, the best place to put solar panels is on top of buildings or over parking lots because they're being used for other purposes anyway. And also, the large amount of clear space allows the sun exposure to actually hit the panels the way that they're supposed to. So, there's that too. Looks like we've got an event in Idaho that I'm going to have to cover. Um, sure hope. Yeah, you said the kids were elsewhere. All right. So, there was an event that happened, I guess, yesterday that I missed. Someone set a brush fire in Idaho intentionally. I'm going to screw this up. Kootenai County, Idaho, to draw in firefighters and started basically sniping off firefighters. Um, can I just say before I get too far into this story that whoever did this, I want to meet them. I know I can't because they're like dead, but I want to club them over the fucking head and string them up with shark hooks onto an empty bed frame and just sit there and spray where the fish hooks are inserted with salt water, seawater. You're shooting at firefighters. You deserve it. You deserve worse, actually, but it's the best thing I could come up with. Hell, who knows? Maybe instead of stringing up with paracord on those fish hooks, maybe we should just make it steel cord and attach a friggin' 12 volt, a couple 12-volt batteries to it, and give you the old what is that? Lethal Weapon 2 or 3 treatment. I forget which one. Just let you fucking fry for a few seconds in between getting salt water and fucking fishhook wounds. Hundreds of them all over your fucking body. You shoot at firefighters, it's what you deserve. Sorry. Not sorry. Fuck it, I'm not sorry. No, you deserve worse. But as a human being, I'm only allowed to come up with so many cruel options, and, well, that one's kind of my limit for the day, really. Anyway, so here's the details. People are not ruling this out as a potential act of terrorism. Oh, please identify with a certain terrorist group, because I'll use it and I'll go to fucking Congress if I have to, and I will openly debate it as a reason to go to fucking war with them. Absolutely. This is one of those things that is a line to cross with me. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, my cruel thoughts for the shooter aside, um, best wishes and prayers to to the surviving family members of those firefighters. This is this should not happen in the United States. The fact that this was allowed to happen, something went wrong somewhere. Someone got across a border that they weren't supposed to, or something. Or someone was on the wrong medication. Can't believe I'm agreeing with him, but he's right. But anyway. Oh, Fauci's come up in fucking politics. That's great. Yeah, but does that really surprise anybody? Look, I like some of what Rand Paul says, but the reality is that some of it's just not going to happen. Alright, anyway, on to good old Maine weather. Oh my, a couple clouds. Yeah. Okay, dudes. Whatever. Monday. No precip. Tuesday. Some rolling in. Doesn't look too heavy. Off and on all day. Yeah, Fauci's a problem. Wednesday's empty. Looks like. Oh, what's that? We got a little bit edging in from. Oh, no. Gone. Anything past this point is just a lucky guesstimate. Too many things could go wrong with the weather. Things could move out to sea, get warm, get cold. You never know. Sprinkles on Friday. Let's see, Saturday. Looks clear. Okay, best guess. Again, I have to point out that this is using math and science to attempt to get the best possible guess. It's not a guarantee that this will be the weather, but it looks like we got a pretty clean week. Except for what, Friday? A couple sprinkles on Friday. And Tuesday next week. Was it Friday that we had, or was it Thursday? No, it was Tuesday. So a little bit of sprinklage slash some rain on Tuesday, and the rest of the week looks more or less clean. According to the full forecast, it's mostly true, and Thursday they have marked off as a potential. Anything past that point is just guesswork. The 7th looks to be about the same. So, temperatures are more of interest. It looks like it's going to be 80s and 70s, so not terrible, but not great either. 84 looks to be the highest, about one of the highest numbers I'm seeing here. No, 88 on Sunday, 85 on Monday, so not terrible. Yeah, no, Fauci belongs in Gitmo. Actually, I'd use him as a bargaining chip, as a truths thing for friggin' Ukraine. I'd offer him up to fucking Russia. Tell him, hey, we'll give you this fucking asshat if you just, stop doing your shit in Ukraine and leave us the fuck alone in the Middle East. As far as that's concerned. And if they make us pick one, I'd probably say the one anything to do with the Middle East. They can back off and they can keep Fauci and then let Europe deal with fucking Russia. Straight up my opinion. I gotta do a quick reset on that. So anyway, it is indeed almost that day again, and I will be celebrating. I don't give two flying fucks what the left has to say about it. I'm going to roast up some burgers on the grill, maybe some hot dogs, and there you go. Well, that's actually kind of sad. Alright. Hot take. Terrorists can go die in a hole. Every last fucking one of them. Don't care. But it is extremely beautiful country over there, and it is sad to see so much blood being shed over it and on it. And they have a lot of really nice looking national parks, according to the satellite imagery and stuff, that I really wouldn't mind going to see. If the region could fucking stabilize in any meaningful way that could ensure the safety of